Hello there, and welcome to another happy hashtag Saw Saturday. Just you all. This is awesome. We're approaching the end of the year, and for everyone who's been joining us throughout the year, thank you. We have like so many more episodes before the new year, but like I don't know, it's that time of year, so getting ahead of myself. Anyway, this is Ashton, as always. Thank you for joining from wherever you're joining in the galaxy. And as always, joined by my co-host here.
It's me, Tim.
Howdy, Tim.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Yes. Yes.
And welcome to the Neel Nation.
Yes. Oh, I love this new intro of ours. Welcome to the Neel Nation. Yeah.
Accurate. Definitely after this episode of Skeleton Crew.
Yes.
You all, I'm sorry if you haven't watched that episode yet. Spoiler alert, big time. We are going to talk about Neel all episode.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So much amazing stuff. Yeah. As usual, for the past couple of weeks, my musical experience is Skeleton Crew. Do you have a different one to share or?
I've been rewatching The Mandalorian and currently Book of Boba.
Oh, cool.
And in this episode where they're on Corvus and meet Ahsoka, there's this tiny sequence where she tells about someone she knows who just looks like him, and then this Yoda theme drops in. It's very subtle and very cool, and it's a very nice thing to have.
Yeah, it's a nice moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, not to go on a completely unnecessary tangent here, but I'm going to go on a completely unnecessary tangent here. Whenever Yoda is leaving Kashyyyk, getting into the escape pod, the cue that plays right there is I think it's even in like the same exact key as like Ahsoka's theme, like the main theme from like the Clone Wars, and it's Ahsoka's theme that plays there, which is like kind of interesting. I did a little like breakdown video like months ago of like, oh, like was Yoda thinking about Ahsoka during that, or like is this just a coincidence, just because it's fun. But yeah, so that's cool. We get that little snippet. I knew that for some reason, but I don't know. Maybe we've talked about that before. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. But yeah, dude, I need to do that. There's just like no time.
Yes.
Like Skeleton Crew is like, all right, that's my time to like watch something. So of course I'm gonna watch that,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What was your favorite moment from this episode?
Oh, dude. That's a tough question. My favorite moment, again, spoilers, everyone. My favorite moment is when Neel throws the rock at SM-33.
Yes, and then faints. And this is such a good cutout to end the episode.
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's that moment. But there's a lot of context that's also my favorite, like leading up to that moment. It makes that moment just so sick. And this is why you're here, everyone. We're going to talk about the music and the implications of the music with everything going on in this episode. So yeah, I guess here, let me go ahead and get started. And also sorry everyone if you hear me, I'll try to cut it out, but if you hear me any high fidelity slurping, it's me.
ASMR, some edition. It's just Neel eating soup.
Yeah. Yep. You never know what you'll hear here on it's the Space Opera Music Podcast, 88.5. Low key though, I am drinking some tea because I think I'm getting sick. So it's kind of a bummer. All right, let me share my screen. I want to share this with you all. So I have some clips.
Oh, mails. Nice.
Yep.
Turbo Flax.
Turbo tax. It's almost that time of year also. No thanks.
Uh-huh.
Can you hear that? No?
No.
Bummer. All right. How about now?
Yes, sir. Here we go.
Boom. Okay. Dope. So let me do this. Let me do that. Beautiful. All right, everyone. So we're going to talk about Neil for the whole episode, but I have a couple of clips I want to get through first. They're just like things to mention, I guess. Just like really quickly mention. So the mystery theme, or the discovery theme that we've heard
Mm.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got that in this episode, which just
Mm-hmm.
it's just fun to
Mm-hmm.
point these things out and be like, yes, we did identify a strong recurring theme in the very first episode, and we are still hearing it. It's just cool to like, I don't know, have that affirmation. So anyway, whenever they get to this like at Akron planet, we hear this when they're kind of like exploring.
Tastes like ashy dust. It's a lot like my home planet, actually.
No, wait! This isn't home! Look!
Yeah, like in
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like low harp sound. Do
Mm-hmm.
do 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 do. Yeah, super cool. So that's fun. And then also, I talked about this on this week's Tea Time on Tatooine, doing the Skeleton Crew breakdown. I talked about this. Let me know what you think. Whenever Wim is like bummed out that Jod stole his credits,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of like he kind of like slumps his head and like is just kind of just continues on as they're all going up to the whatever they call that tower. I forgot, the fallen sanctum.
Sanctum, yeah.
Yeah. Um, which my good friend Charlie mentioned, fallen sanctum kind of sounds a lot like the um Jedi temples that Wim was talking about that can like lower.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so like if all of these planets have something to do with the Jedi, that will be very interesting. Cool. Oh yeah, yeah. So whenever Wim is like kind of like bummed out at the whole like
Mm-hmm.
credits thing, this is the cue for that.
On Sanctum. It's their version of the supervisor's tower.
So I mean, it's like really quick there, but like all of the like, like just that kind of
Mm-hmm.
like ornamentation, like magical ornamentation. I don't know. To me, it was like, oh man, is that maybe like, like we hear a really pretty and like major key ornamentation stuff going on, whenever Jodna's using, getting the key
Mm-hmm.
into the brig,
Mm-hmm.
that we talked about for that breakdown. And so it's like, oh man, like is that, this is obviously like a sadder key,
Mm-hmm.
like sadder vibe. And so is that like maybe some of that magic, not fizzling out because it's still there, but like just different. I don't know. Kind of felt like that to me, but I wanted your take on that.
It sounds a little like when we have the birth of the twins. These
Yeah, very that. Yeah, very that.
Mm-hmm. That's my take on it, I think.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Cool, cool. Okay. Right on. So,
It's so
yeah.
cool that we have this mystery theme that you pointed out again. We have a
Yeah,
new planet.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Because like it really was mysterious, like perfect
Mm-hmm.
place to put it, but it wasn't like, yeah, it was mysteriously mysterious, if that makes
Yeah, it
sense.
was the only time we got it, so
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it felt like a good place to put it
Hmm.
to
Yeah.
re-share.
Nice. Share it with your friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the rest of the things that I have here are all about Neil. So
Okay, I
you're
have one
welcome.
more,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, I have to play it like the old school way, but
I can try
it's
to, if you send it to me, I can plug it in too.
yeah, it's in the very beginning we hear this.
Oh dude, yes. 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 forgot to mention that. I
Mm-hmm.
totally forgot to mention that. Oh, darn. Um, dude, yeah, everyone. That is the
Yeah.
like,
In
but
this
creepy.
mysterious minor key, dude, where do we hear this in the same style?
Dagobah, I think.
Dago, right?
I
Mm-hmm.
think. I need to find the.
Interesting.
I know if I can find the cue that we hear it like that in on Dagobah. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if it's that same theme, but like that. It's certainly that
It's pretty
same.
similar.
Yeah, at least the same orchestration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I can do that, because that is like I don't know, like when you come into a Star Wars project and you're composing music for Star Wars, like you inevitably know all of the themes. And so when you
Mm-hmm.
write something that sounds so similar to like the main theme, right? It's not just like some obscure like Easter eggy thing. Like when you write something so similar to the main theme, um, it has to be intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find the clip, the Dagobah clip, and I'll make a breakdown video of that so that way everyone can be
Nice.
paying attention to that.
Sweet.
Um, yeah, dude, thank you for
And
mentioning that.
then,
I totally forgot.
yeah, sure. Right after that, we have this mystery theme when they
Hmm.
get out, and this
Right.
is the scene where they land on the planet, and where
Yeah.
it's very, cloudy and very misty, just
Yeah.
like Dagobah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And just like Dagobah, like has that like concentration of the Force on it. You
Mm-hmm.
like that could mean if there is that parallel there musically,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes you wonder. Like
Mm-hmm.
is it just a simple is it just a simple nostalgia factor because it's a new foggy planet, or is it telling a bigger story?
Mm-hmm.
Not sure.
I mean, it's interesting, anyways, that we have like an almost identical planet with the same buildings and same everything.
Yeah, like same
This
layout.
one
Yeah.
is destroyed and it's in different war groups
Mhm.
divided, and Atten is just the opposite of that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a few theories out there after this episode. We'll
Feels like a test drive for how to build a nation or how to build anything on the planet to experiment with that.
yeah.
You have different outcomes. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, oh man, we could just do an entire episode of like theories and stuff, but but no, no, let's not. Let's not.
No, 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 no.
Um yeah,
Let's
well,
jump to the Neel scene.
yeah, let's
Scene.
let's talk about Neel. You all. This is so special. So, first things first, whenever Neel is giving his food to the little kids, listen to the cue here.
Are you guys hungry?
Hmm.
Right? So we're getting a
So
really,
innocent.
yeah, really innocent and delicate, um, what we have been labeling as Whim's theme, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, I think pretty clearly after this episode, because we're going to talk about this a lot more. Um, I think we can pretty clearly now just relabel it as like the cruise theme,
The cruise theme, yeah.
because yeah, we
Mm-hmm.
get it a lot for Neel here in this episode. So yeah, I mean that's that same theme we've been talking about, and here it is. Um, yeah, which is so cool. The other time that we really hear it is when Neel and man, I forgot to look up her name, but
Hey, no.
the oh, thank you. Whenever they're sitting on the edge of the
Mm-hmm.
building and they're like talking and stuff, oh, which is just the best. This is the cue for that.
You shouldn't listen to me. You know, the one fight I was ever in was this one time my little brother Jorka stole my protractor, and I chased him all around the house until he jumped on my head, and I fell in the credenza and sprained my trunk.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he totally beat me. Even though he's about half my size.
I've never met anyone like you before.
Oh,
Ugh,
dude,
dang.
it is so gorgeous, right?
Sweet. Yeah.
It is just so gorgeous. Like we're hearing like this theme that we've been hearing, man. Like we hear it with Wim when he gets into the turret in episode
Yeah.
3 and like it's like victorious and stuff and like um yeah, just like yeah, whatever. So we've been talking about this theme, but we're getting it here in this really delicate way. And what's so special, dude, is that we're actually getting something new with this iteration. So it's not just orchestrationally different or something
Mm-hmm.
like literally we're getting a new harmony in this cue
Oh yeah.
for Neel scenes. And it's so freaking cool, dude. So can you hear that?
Yep.
Dope. So yeah, everyone, like we have this is our normal harmony,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we get with Neel is, and I always say this, I said this on Tea Time and Tatooine too, like you don't need to know exactly what this means, but we get the major seven
Mm-hmm.
introduced, and they really keep it in the queue. And so yeah, like, you don't need to know like what that means, like music theory stuff, but just you're gonna hear the sound. So here, let me just play the clip again.
Stole my protractor, and I chased him all around the house until he jumped on my head, and I fell on the credenza and sprained my trunk.
Yeah, so the strings are
Mm-hmm.
playing this. They're playing that in
Mm-hmm.
the background. So we're on the second chord of this two chord um,
Mm-hmm.
phrase, this melody, and we have the strings playing this. And then when they land here is whenever the chord goes back to the first chord.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's just
Nice.
like, right? Isn't that so
Mm-hmm.
nice? And we have not heard this harmony with the
Mm-hmm.
with the one chord of this cue. We
Mm-hmm.
get this kind of harmony. Like they all
Mm-hmm.
just stay within their, like
Mm-hmm.
major. And but yeah, dude, so whenever they play that,
Mm-hmm.
dude, it's just like, oh my goodness, like this is something new. We have not heard
Mm-hmm.
a major seven introduced here, but it is for Neel.
Yeah,
And
he's opening up, and it's so soft, and it's
it's
so
right, it's so sick.
like a
So
bath.
yes, and so just to and everyone listening, you won't be able to like see this, but we're gonna um
Mm-hmm.
like audibly tell you what's going on. So I'm pulling up that app. If you've been following along from the beginning, you'll recognize it. It's Syntasonics. It's the keyboard player for Thundercat, Dennis Ham. He created this app, and basically it's like you can play piano and like get into like theory and stuff, or like harmonies and chords and melodies, but get into the sentiment behind them. So like or the emotion behind music. So so for the main theme, whenever we get like this kind of harmony, right? So like we have the sentiments are positivity and enchantment, or like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the sentiments reading here are positivity again, expectation, reassurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting all of those things, but then whenever we get the strings playing this, we have positivity still, with our chord, but we
Mm-hmm.
have yearning, this
Mm-hmm.
introduction of the sentiment yearning. And it's like, oh man, like this is just is just so special because it's unique to Neil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, oh man, like that's just so cool that we're getting something new here. Um, we continue to hear this like throughout the rest of the episode. We continue to hear this with their interactions with each other. So,
Mm-hmm.
like especially of course, like whenever they're saying goodbye, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she like kisses him. So, so yeah, let's listen to that cue.
And my world could use some kindness.
Neel, I hate to interrupt, but come on, move your trunk.
I don't know what to say.
So yeah, just like beautiful. And then here's the rest of that scene.
Neel!
Right. So we like not only are we getting that, but we are also getting, like the cellos playing like we're getting a lot more motion
Mm-hmm.
underneath, the light and
Mm-hmm.
airy and innocent melody. We're getting
Mm-hmm.
all that motion underneath with the cellos like arpeggiating the chords that we're going through, which is certainly like a technique in scoring used, especially for like romantic scenes. Yeah, I don't know, just like something is stirring up inside of Neil. You know what I mean? So, and because like she is showed him and like brought out of him how to be brave.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's still scared, like and afraid,
Mm-hmm.
like that doesn't go
Mm-hmm.
away. But kind of, yeah, just figuring out how to locate bravery inside of
Mm-hmm.
yourself. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, there is something stirring up inside of him, right? Like that is just so sick. And like whether it's romantic or not, like it's still moving. So you all, like with all of this context in mind, let's listen to the cue when he throws the rock at SM-33.
Leave him alone!
Right? So, and I cut it off like right before we hear him like rip them apart or whatever he's saying. Lem to lem, I think.
Limbo then,
Yeah. Yeah, I cut it off right before that. So just in case anyone's like listening to this with like kids in the car or something. Oh, man. Amazing.
It's very
So
triumphant.
so yeah, right? It's
They're
it's
brave, yeah.
super brave, super triumphant. Like, like with Wim, we had like French horns, I think, when he's in the turret, and like there's still
Mm-hmm.
like a level of like whimsy in there, but here we're getting
Whimsy.
like, yeah, I know. Um, yeah, but here like we're getting like the trumpets, like the
Mm-hmm.
most victorious sound, like
Mm-hmm.
oh, like in the higher register. But on top of like they're blasting the main theme, the crew theme. They're blasting that over top of everyone else what they're playing, which is, you guessed it, a beautiful major seven chord. So we're getting that major seven in there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's this. Whenever he's like, hey, like like we get that major seven crunch in there, and it's just so just beautiful, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's just so good. And so like that it's just so sick that like that major seven, that new element
Mm-hmm.
harmonically that we got for this familiar crew theme,
Mm-hmm.
it's just so cool that like we heard it evolve throughout the episode and then
Mm-hmm.
hit like so strongly and dramatically during that whenever he throws the rock. And then of course, then we get the theme over top of it. So, dude, just like breaking, like listening to that and like realizing all of that
Mm-hmm.
was so sick. I love Neil so much. This was awesome.
Yes. And we get to see him not only snoring but also coughing somehow.
Yeah, or like yeah, or like sneezing or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And whenever wants to show him the big gun, she's pulling at his trunk
Hmm.
to get him.
I know. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Um, Something else I kind of want to mention. This is like a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of a deep dive music theory wise, but I think worth mentioning. I think I can
Mm-hmm.
hopefully explain this like in a way that makes sense. Um, so the key that we usually hear the crew theme is in it's in the key of A. Again, you don't need to like care like what key it's in, but it's in the key of A.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's so cool is that and so it's in that key for the whole show, except for when Neel throws the rock. And the key that we hear the theme in that scene is in the key of D. So
Mm.
yeah. So so which is here. And so what's really cool to me anyway is that in music you will always hear like a what's called a 5-1 chord
Mm-hmm.
progression, right? So like this for example,
Mm-hmm.
that's a 5-1 chord progression. Everyone knows that sound. It's like literally music. And but the 5 of D is A. So we're
Mm-hmm.
going from A to D. And
Mm-hmm.
so what that means to me is that like this key of D that we land on, and not only just D major, but like D major 7, like whenever we land there, it's like Neel is arriving there. Like he's,
Mm-hmm.
like all of this stuff that's been setting him up,
Mm-hmm.
is in that like that quote unquote 5 chord, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leading to that 1 chord, like that,
Mm-hmm.
like you've landed there. So, but it's just so cool that like when he does land there, right? Which I think is just such a cool concept. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too like out there, but yeah, like I think that's just such a cool concept. But then the fact that he lands and we have a major 7 in his
Mm-hmm.
theme or his
Mm-hmm.
iteration of this theme, like,
His iteration, yeah.
oh, dude, like
Mm-hmm.
that is just so sick, man. Yeah, like that yearning element.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so cool. So I don't know. It kind of begs the question, like, um, Anna and I on tea time, we were like, oh man, so does this mean everyone's going to get their own flavor of this crew theme?
Yes.
You think
Interesting.
so?
Yeah. I don't know. Possible.
Yeah.
We would get, I think, two more KB and firm version.
Yeah. Like if this trend
Possible.
continues, right? Yeah. Like
Yeah,
that
we
would
have the
be,
time. We have four more episodes, so.
I know, like that would be really sick, right? And it's just,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of get, all 4 of their evolutions as children, like
Mm-hmm.
experiencing all these things. Like that would be really cool to capture that musically. So yeah, and even if it's not like a different harmony or something necessarily, but like could be, like for KB, like it could be just like a really like synth heavy version of it or something.
Yeah. Orchestration wise, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, that was a cool thought. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh man, like, are we gonna get that?
Totally.
Sweet. Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, yeah. So just so fun, man. This show has been so fun. It's crazy that it's so crazy that we have an episode on Christmas Eve and New
Mm-hmm.
Year's Eve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty
Interesting. I
fun.
like the fact that we that the Yopis got an introduction or reintroduction after seeing them on
Yeah.
Naboo, and now they have got like what's that? Horns.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was cool to like hear those sounds again and see them and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about anything from the Phantom Menace. So,
And we have some costume-wise, some iterations of AT-ST driver helmets and goggles seen in Solo. So
yeah, you're right.
some Imperial gear they've been trading for
Mhm.
stuff they have, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's a really cool point actually that I didn't think too much about that because I was like focused on Neil so much. Yeah, so that means somehow they're getting those resources,
Hmm.
right?
Even though they're not pretty interested in Outworlders, but you know, they seem to trade.
Hmm. Yeah, that's Hmm. That's interesting.
Yep. And the tank from those Hatton guys look very much like an AAT tank
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
with this Ithorian on top.
Right. Just like a yeah, like a modified.
The shape was very similar to that,
Mhm.
but it was not an AAT.
Right. Oh man.
Mhm.
It's so easy to start going down rabbit holes of like different theories.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yes, totally. The look of Jordan Underwood's clothing when he comes with those EOPs very had a Lando vibe on it. This open shirt, white arms in blue was
Hmm.
very like Lando on Bespin.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been talking this about this on an episode today on a friend of mine's podcast called Blue Blues for all those German listeners.
Nice.
Um, that Jordan Underwood is a character that is pretty somehow similar to Lando or Han in the ways of, you know, not being snitchy, but you never know what they're up to, but they have their own path to go, and he's
Yeah.
clearly up for the treasure, you know?
Right. It's very scoundrelly.
Yeah, very scoundrelly.
Yeah. Hmm.
And talking of this treasure thing is very interesting as well because so far I thought this whole planet has some treasure in resources or something, but it could just be the treasure of the captain of the ship buried on Atten.
Right.
So this
That's
was
true.
a new spin. Because Wim said we don't have any treasure. We don't have anything.
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
interesting.
Makes you wonder, like, what's up with SM33? I mean, he really went through a lot this episode,
Yep.
like with his memory situation and
Yep.
his babysitting mode. Like, that's incredible.
Yep.
Oh man, just makes you wonder, like, yeah.
Interesting.
I know. Actually, the I had just noticed this the other day. Let me share my screen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait.
One of the or like the main poster for Skeleton Crew. This one.
The Japanese one.
Yeah, specifically. No, yeah, this main one. Look at
Yeah,
this.
it's
It's
Essen's
yeah.
silhouette. Yeah,
Like
totally.
I had only noticed that like the other day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's his helmet,
Yep.
like
It
kind of
looks pretty
hidden.
similar to a KX droid, but I,
Hmm.
I I think it's older than like droids as K2 are.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think yeah,
And
it's
it has more of
very
a skull silhouette of it.
yeah, very like skull silhouette, but also just in terms of like movement, very clunky and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
compared to the newer ones. So yeah, this has got to be like an ancient iteration of this
Yeah.
droid type. Yeah, I mean this is yeah.
Opens up a new question of how long has the ship been crashed on at Aden?
I know, man, and like it is like completely covered, and
Yeah, I
I
mean, it takes more than 5 years to be covered in this much of dirt and
yeah, man,
everything.
like I know, like it hasn't been that long, because like I know one theory out there that I've been kind of talking about um with my friend Charlie's like what if Wendell
The
what if
dad.
yeah, what if he crashed
Hmm.
the ship
Yeah.
there? And but yeah, man, it's like this whole setup feels like way older than that.
Hmm.
So, yeah, man.
Maybe we'll find out. I don't know.
Yeah. It would just be crazy if like yeah, if like Wendell is the pirate, you know?
Hmm.
That would
The
be
old captain.
crazy. Yeah. The captain. Sorry, yeah, the captain.
The...
Yeah. That would be crazy, dude.
Hmm.
Oh man. But yeah, we like yes, we have 4 more episodes to like find out everything, but we only have 4 episodes left.
That's true. What's
It's-
interesting is that droids, or yeah, this droid seems to have a kill switch, which is pretty unusual to
yeah, seems pretty again like pretty
pretty
archaic.
ancient. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I wonder what's coming next because they somehow need to escape from the planet again and get going, you
I
know.
know I think
Maybe
everyone
they get
thought,
to the other planets where because they have the coordinates of them, and then they go from then on. I don't know. We'll
yeah,
see next week.
try to like process of elimination or maybe just to find more clues. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be a strategy. I know, man. Like I know I think pretty much everyone thought that today or this week's episode would be centered around the parents. And
Mm,
we didn't get any of that. Nothing on
true.
that Adden.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like I feel totally in the dark still there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of anticipating next week's, since we didn't this week, kind of anticipating like Christmas Eve's episode to be parent centric.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
But
There's
uh,
not too much to tell actually. Sense of
yeah,
old stories, or I don't know.
no, you're right, dude. Yeah, unless there's some crazy thing with like the crazy theory I have about Wendell, like, unless that's going on. But the more and more I think about it, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's just they're all just parents,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully Wendell, if anything, like has some character development and becomes kind of like the hero to Wim,
Mm-hmm.
instead of like kind of the like typical loser dad scenario.
People have been pointing out this mural we see in the living room.
Yeah, I haven't. I've seen that pop up, and I haven't like had the energy to read about it.
Yeah, me neither. But it
Yeah.
it looks it has this is it Ortolan? No, is Neel an Ortolan? I don't know. But the
Mhm.
species is in
Right.
it, and some figures look like the Mortis gods.
Oh, right.
So, and the same shape could be on the map which Kim points out. This old one which she rolls out.
Hmm. Dude, I just looked this up, and apparently Neel, Neil's species is its own alien race.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know, like that's according to Wikipedia.
That
But
should be
then,
right.
yeah, I know, right? But then I just saw like, just like someone's post here saying like, yeah, Neel is an ortolan, the same species as,
I've been seeing the creators, being asked, was Max Reboot inspiration for the no.
That's so funny, dude.
But yeah, I don't know. This
Huh.
mural is interesting though, with this Ithorian on it, and
Huh. Yeah, this is really interesting, dude.
we will find out in the future, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. The showrunners have confirmed that Neel is not an ortolan like Max Rebo.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Dude, cool. That's so funny. They're probably like, "Oh my God." Like we did not think we were making a Max Rebo mini me. Darn. Little do they know we wanted that. So thank you.
Yeah, confirmation that
Oh,
Max Rebo lives.
that's right. Yeah, dude.
Sweet. Is there
Well,
anything else you
no,
might
that
want
was
to
it.
share?
No, that
Yeah.
was it, man. That was it. Just, but yeah, like Neel getting, having his flavor of the cruise theme
Mm-hmm.
sound the way it does, and like hearing it come to life and
Mm-hmm.
strengthen throughout the episode. Like just so freaking cool, dude. So yeah, that was it for me.
Yes. That's enough for 1 week.
Yeah. All right, everyone.
Sweet.
Well, until next time. I'm not sure. we'll definitely have an episode out next Saturday, which you and I we'll figure out when to record, with like Christmas and stuff.
Christmas time.
But yeah, in the meantime, everyone, happy holidays.
Take care.
Yeah, take care. We'll see you next Saturday. And then it's gonna be the new year. So yeah, everyone, yeah, take care. May the force be with you.